Hi sewing friends, Emily Thompson here, content creator and Brother Sews Ambassador. Today I've got a quick and easy sewing tutorial showing you 5 different ways to gather fabric. These are useful for different types of fabric and projects depending on what you're making. I'm going to show you how to gather on your serger as well as multiple ways on your sewing machine. Let's start with the serger method. Go ahead and turn your differential feed to 2.0, which is the highest it goes. Set your needle tension up. I like to move it between the 6 and the 8 depending on my fabric. You're going to leave your loopers set at normal around 4. Now you can go ahead and run your fabric through just as you normally would, trimming off just a small seam allowance. This method will gather the fabric as you sew. It's perfect for lighter fabrics and smaller projects. You can continue to adjust the gathers by picking up a needle thread and pulling the tension even tighter if you need more gathers. We're going to look at a method for gathering thicker fabric using a zigzag stitch and some cording. I like to adjust my length just a little bit and make it a nice wide zigzag. Now you're going to take your cord or your string and place it on top of your fabric. As I mentioned, this works great for thicker fabrics such as denim or canvas where your gathering threads may break. Make sure as you're sewing over top of your cord that you do not catch the cord in the zigzags. You want it to be able to move loosely through the zigzag tunnel that you're creating on top of your fabric. When you get to the end, make sure you leave a nice tail a few inches long of the cord on either side of the end of the fabric. Grab that cord and pull it through the zigzag tunnel to create nice gathers, even with thick and sturdy fabric that otherwise would be difficult. Make sure you pull from both sides of the fabric so you don't pull the cord right out of your project. Adjust your gathers and you're good to go to continue the rest of your sewing project. Another way that you can gather on your sewing machine is just to adjust the tension. Set a nice long length, 5, and then up that tension almost as far as it goes. You can play around with this to see how much it will gather depending on how tight your tension is. This is another one that works great for thinner fabrics that you want to just gather as you sew. This will gather the fabric as you're sewing it through your sewing machine, and you can continue to adjust by pulling the needle threads tighter as you want when finished. Now we will look at a more traditional way of gathering. This uses a long straight stitch, and you can traditionally run 1, 2, or 3 gathering stitches down your fabric. I like to use 1 thread when I am just doing a quick and easy and small project. Just go ahead and run your single stitch down the edge of the fabric. Make sure you leave a nice long tail of thread. Go ahead and find the bobbin thread and begin pulling through your fabric. You can gather from one end or both ends and gather towards the middle until you've reached the amount of gathers you're looking for. The danger with this is that if you break this thread, you will have to run the gathering stitch again because you only have 1 gathering thread on this project. So if you break it, your gathers will come undone. But if I'm trying to do something quickly or a small project, I will often resort to this quick and easy gathering method. The most traditional way probably taught to gather is to do the same thing with a long straight stitch, but to run 2 to 3 gathering lines down the edge of your fabric. Your first one will want to be quite close to the edge of the fabric, and the other ones quite close going down towards the body of the fabric. You're going to run each of those stitches along the fabric, making sure that they do not touch or intersect as you stitch along. When you have run all 3 stitches, make sure you cut nice long tails, and then you will again be able to grab those bobbin threads and pull the stitches tighter to gather the fabric. The advantage to this is that you have more even gathers between the 3 lines of stitching, and also if you should break one of these gathering threads, you are still able to continue gathering because you have 2 others as backup. Make sure you are only pulling the bobbin threads to gather the fabric as you go and pull it evenly out from the side. Again, you can gather from one end, moving the gathers along, or from both ends, working towards the center. When you're ready to sew this to the next part of your project, you will stitch in the middle of these 3 gathering threads, which will provide nice, even gathers as you're continuing on with your sewing project. That's it for me today. I hope you have enjoyed this nice, quick, and easy tutorial showing you 5 different ways that you can gather fabric.